Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna here. Basically, we are discussing another topic, that is city creation. In this, basically, we are discussing this point, basically, that is future creation. One of the person told that basically, Sunil, are you there in future? Basically, this is very dangerous question. Basically, he asked. One of the person asked the question. Basically, are you there in future? Basically, so this is future. Basically, see basically. One of the person told that, are you there in future? What actually means basically this? So one of the person told that basically your future basically is mapped by the king family basically. They maps your future basically. So one of the person told that how basically. For example, few king family will say that basically Sunil your future basically is finished basically. Future finished means your next generation will not happen basically. Then your next generation will not happen. Then basically why you require the money basically. That directly they basically tell basically. They basically directly tells basically. So one of the person told that that means future basically they can finish the Sunil Arna's future basically. One of the person told that basically because anything basically they can do basically. Anything basically they can do basically. Anything basically they can do basically. So one of the person told that what which color basically this is. Then Sunil Arnar basically told that it's a brown color basically. So it's very dangerous color. See basically when I am taking the name of brown color, that time only basically the plane basically is flying basically. So just see basically how it's connected. So one of the person told that yes here basically it's connected basically. It's fully connected. So one of the person told that basically that your future basically one of the person told that basically assume that basically one of the ring king basically told that basically so your future basically is finished. What actually that means? If king basically is telling basically if one software company is telling then that is different thing basically. But one king basically is telling basically that your future. So one of the person told that basically the person who is telling them first of all you have to understand that basically one person is king is telling that basically 1 plus 1 equal to 2 basically. So that is king telling basically. Then one normal accountant is telling that is different thing. One chartered accountant is telling basically 1 plus 1 equal to 2. That is different thing basically. So that king basically is telling that Sunil your future basically we have finished. So what that mean basically? That means that basically my generation basically which is going to happen that they have finished. How? Assume that basically they have done nine Nasbandi basically. Assume just taking as an example basically. But really they have not done basically. If they have done basically then be ready for the dot end. So another person told that basically is not possible basically. They might not have done that basically. So what might be they have basically done basically. Then one of the another king basically told that basically. Sunil we have actually that basically person is telling wrong basically. We have allocated a few space basically for you basically in universe and for your family basically. That is your wife, that is your child going to happen basically. And one king basically is telling that basically we have basically not allocated the space basically for you basically. So one of the person told that basically one king is telling basically like this and another king basically is telling that basically we have allocated space for you. And one universe basically group that is the satellite groups are telling that basically but we can't see your space basically or Sunil basically. Then one of the satellite group told one of the universe one of the king basically told that can you basically tell the space also basically of one person basically. Then he told that yes basically we have allocated each and every space of each and every human in universe basically. Then one of the person told that one HR group basically told that soon I have allocated your space basically in one of the software company. So you can basically join. Assume that basically that is Accenture company. One of the person told that Sunil, I have allocated one your space basically in Accenture. You can join that company basically. I have allocated it. So that means what basically? I have one computer, I have one, or basically one laptop, I have one chair, I have one table. That means basically allocation basically. So one of the universe person basically told that basically. Sunil, I have allocated one space for you. That is your wife basically energy and your child energy basically which is going to happen. That allocation basically have done. And the nuclear power company, if the Indian nuclear power company are not giving you the birth basically, sorry, that is the human souls basically, then basically we will arrange the human souls basically from other than Indian group basically, if Indian group are basically not helping you basically. So this all our Indian company basically. See basically, not a single software company basically is helping Sunil Nair basically. They are telling that basically technology has changed basically. But project manager basically what technology basically? He is basically just to manage the stuff basically. And it's a cloud computing. Few people say it's a cloud computing. Cloud computing means what basically? Cloud computing means what basically? Few basically look and feel basically, and few basically commands are basically there. DevOps basically is there. That basically is the equal to VSS basically. Previously VSS basically was there, and few big things basically contains of the management side basically. Then he told that yes basically that basically has basically this group basically is telling that basically you don't know Sunil basically. So one of the person told that basically you basically are perfectly connected with the perfect technology also basically. And one of the person told that your video basically says that basically you are connected with the future technology also basically. So one of the person told that that basically how you judge it basically, that your blood cells basically contains the future technology also basically. That was very dangerous basically. One of the person told that basically. That how basically you can say that basically your blood cells basically contains future technology. That one of the person told that basically that is basically the technique basically of the blood cells group basically. If you can judge that basically. So one of the person told that that is this group basically who are basically creating problem basically, that is Indian group basically, that is this software company basically. Then one of the person told that all Indian, one of the satellite group basically told all Indian are basically creating problem to you. Then Sunil R. Nair told that yes here basically all Indian group basically are creating problem to Sunil R. Nair. And one of the person told that all India means in India country or basically it's across the world basically, because everywhere basically Indian countries are. Then one of the person told that why don't you basically change the country basically, because if Indian basically are creating problem for you basically, they are creating problem you from childhood basically. It's not basically like that basically they are creating problem from just now basically. They are creating because the satellite group basically told that basically it might possible that basically from childhood basically that some group basically might be creating problem to you basically. So one of the satellite group told that if you finish that entire group basically then your problem is solved. Then one of the person told that basically for that basically you should know now which person basically is creating problem to you. Then satellite group told that basically can we finish the entire India country only basically, then your problem will solve basically, because then basically nobody is going to create problem to you. That also one of the satellite group basically told. Then basically we will create the entire software company again, entire India basically also again, and entire Indian army basically, that is this group also basically we can create again basically. If you want basically then we can do that basically for you basically. One of the other than Indian country basically told. Then one of the person told that basically there is no meaning of finishing the entire India basically. That is few people basically are creating problem to you basically. Then unnecessary basically why to finish the entire India country only basically from this world basically. Then one of the person told that yes basically it's very difficult to finish the India country basically, because they are across the whole world basically. They are across the whole world basically. So it's basically it's very difficult to finish the India, and that also basically they are connected with the big post basically. For example, they have basically American president post, they have European president post, they have Italian president post, they have Abu Dhabi kingdom post basically. Then basically they have France basically big post. So few people have told that basically France basically is Indian. Then yes basically he's Indian basically. He's Indian basically. So in next video basically we are going to see a little bit more about France also.